Hello everyone, it's Carrie at Inky Bee Journals and Ephemera. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time visiting my channel, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by and joining us today. I really do appreciate it. So today I thought that we could look at using some envelopes. Now if you're like me, you'll have a whole heap of these and you might be looking for ways that you can use them. So today I'm going to show you an easy thing you can do with these that is something that can be used in a variety of ways, and it is a beginner friendly idea. So this is what it is. These are little flip books, little pocket books. They have 3 pages and they're fairly simple. They have 3 pockets, 1, 2, 3, and you can add additional pockets if you want to. These can be used as an ephemera holder. These ones, I have some journaling cards in that are just blank on the other side. You could put tags in there or stickers or something like that if you want to. You can use these as a happy mail idea, so if you would like to send some ephemera to someone, or you would like to send some photos to someone, or you might like to send some note money to someone as a gift, this would be an idea for that. Or you could also use them as a type of storage filing system idea. You could put them in a box sitting this way, or you could put a couple of them together and have them sitting this way like this, so you have all your tabs sitting up and all your pockets can fan out like this, and you would have the next one and the next one and so on. And you could also put things in between them if you wanted to, and you've got all of these pockets that you can put things in. So there's an idea. Now if you'd like to put these in your journals, this is one of the journaling cards and I'll show you how to make one of those. But if you'd like to use one of these in your journal, here's how you can do it. So with my example journal here, say we've opened it and you're putting your signature together and you've got one of these and you'd like to stitch this into your signature, you can open it up and you can either do it between the first and the middle page, or the middle page and the last page, and you would just stitch it in through the center here, and you would put it into the center of your page there where you're stitching. When you're stitching here it is, when you're stitching your signature together, you can put this into your signature and stitch it through here like you do any other pages, and this will still allow you to use it as a flip idea and use your pockets. Alternatively, if you chose not to cover the back, you can just glue the back and stick it down like this, and then you would have 1, 2 flip pages, and you still have your, even though this would be stuck down underneath, you would still have the use of this pocket here. You could additionally, if you wanted to, add extra pockets at the bottom, at the side, or you could add some corners and put a photo in there if you'd like to. So you can add some more things to these pages and not just rely on the pocket area. So they have a number of uses. So if you would like to learn how to make these, stick around and I'll show you. Now you could use these as a storage option as well. So I haven't finished it yet, but I've actually made another one in a bigger envelope and I'm going to make some more of them, and I will put them in a box, and instead of having the tabs on the journaling cards like these ones are, if I can get this out, this one must be a little bit stuck, here we go. So instead of having the tab on the journaling cards like this, the tab would actually be stuck to the inside of the pocket, and then when they are sitting up like this, all your tabs would be sitting like this. All your tabs would be sitting up, and you can have whatever you want written on your tabs there that you can flick through and decide what you want to get out of there. So it gives quite a number of things you can do with them. So I'm just going to cover mine in some digitals. I've got some left over from another project. Now, you don't have to use digitals, you can use scrapbook paper. I wouldn't use anything less than about 160 GSM for journaling tags. You could use this if you wanted to. This is 120, but it's a little bit more flimsy, so you might want to consider that. Or you could use scraps. If you've got scraps lying around that are big enough to cover your envelopes with, by all means, go ahead and use your scraps. As for the envelopes themselves, what you will need is 3 envelopes that are all the same size, and preferably ones that have been all cut the same way. So if they've all got the triangle shape here like this, or they've all got the straight edge flap, that's fine. But if they are all cut the same sort of way, then you know that they're going to be relatively the same size, as close as you can get to the same size. Now, the other thing we need to consider is that they all have their flaps. This two need to have the flaps. The third one is an optional flap, and I'll get to that in a moment. But without further ado, let's get started. So we'll start off with 2 envelopes, and we need to have them both sitting so that both of them need to have the flaps facing up, and we need to put them back to back like this, as evenly as possible across the top and across the bottom. And we are going to put glue around the edge of one of these and at the bottom and around the middle, and we're going to glue these together like this so that they are one complete flap in the center. Now I'm just going to use a bit of wet glue. You can use glue stick, you can use tape if you want to. I'm just going to use a little bit of wet glue, and I will link in the description box below all the things that I'm using today as far as glue and tools. If you are interested in looking those things up, you can use those links to get started to find them. Now, get these as close as we can, as level as we can, and I'm just going to fold one over to the other as best that we can, and make sure they're well stuck. So I'm just going to run my bone folder over that to help spread the glue out. I'm just going to put the pin back in my glue for a moment. I do have the air conditioner going in my craft room, so if you do hear a whirring sound in the background, that will be my air conditioner, and I do apologise. I hope it's not too distracting for you. So we've got this so far, and we've got our centre flap here, and this will be the hinge area for our middle page. Now our middle page is the 3rd envelope, and it's at this point that you can choose what you want to do with this flap. You may choose to cut it off, you may choose to glue it down to the inside of this envelope, which can be a little bit fiddly, so I'm just going to fold it over like it normally would go, and I'm just going to stick that down so it's a completely closed up envelope. So, but when we stick it, we're not going to put glue in this space here, because if we do that, when we open the other end to make it a pocket, if we put glue here, it won't be able to go past that glue. Whatever you put in there won't go past that glue. So we need to make sure we don't take away any of our real estate area in our pocket. So you can put a little bit of glue near the fold line here, but not right on the fold line. So we're not interfering, not past the fold line, so we're not interfering with this space here. Okay, so now we can glue this down, and we can just ensure that's sticking well with our bone folder. And I'm just going to put the glue, the pin back in my glue for a moment. So we're going to bring this back in now, and we're going to place this in the center this way, and we're just going to line everything up as much as we can manage to. And we're going to glue this side, and we're going to glue that down like that. So we'll bring the glue back in, and we're just going to glue around the edge of the flap. And we can go along the bottom edge of the flap, not over the crease line, but we can go over the center here. And the reason we can go over the center of this middle piece here is because we're gluing it down to an area that is not open. So we're going to line this up again. We're going to sit this up on an angle and line this up, and then fold it over like that. Try to have everything as lined up as you can and stick that down. I'm just going to go over that with my bone folder. And so we now have 1, 2, 3 pages. So the next thing we need to do is we can cut the edge of these pages. I'm just going to use my steel ruler. I'm going to line it up at the edge, and I'm going to cut off approximately a 1/16 of an inch. You don't need to take off very much. You really only need to take off enough to open up your envelopes. And this is what will create our pockets. So when you're doing this, please be careful, because we don't want any accidents, so just go slowly. You don't need to put a lot of pressure on your blade. Just let the sharpness of your blade do all the work for you. You will need to do a number of passes, but just take your time so that you don't slip and hurt yourself. Just make sure you're keeping a bit of pressure on the ruler so that it doesn't slip around while you're doing it. And always, if you have one like this, always put your blade back in so that you don't accidentally hurt yourself. We can discard those pieces, and we can remove the ruler, and now we have 3. We hope we have 3 here we go. We have 3 pockets here. Now, as you can see, this pocket's open because we've opened this end, but we'll get to fixing this in a moment. So, the next thing we need to do is cover the front and the back. So I'm just going to use these digitals, and how I'm going to do that is I'm just going to glue all over the front here. So I'm just going to run the glue down all 4 sides, all the way around the edges. And because this is a solid piece and it's not open, I'm just going to do a big squiggle in the center. And I'm just going to place this down as even as I can along the spine edge, and I'm just going to tap it and just smooth that out. I'm just going to run over that with my bone folder just to make sure that that glue is spread out and sticking well. Then I'm just going to turn it over and cut the excess off. So you can do this with your scissors, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to cut this excess off. We'll keep this piece because we'll use it to cover this side. And we're just going to cut the excess off this side, and be careful not to cut into the side of your envelope, otherwise you will open your envelope where you don't want to open. And we'll do the same on this side. So we've covered the front, and now we're going to cover the inside of that piece. So we'll use this piece that I used before, and we're going to cover it here. Because we have an open pocket area here, we want to make sure we're not putting glue here. We're only putting glue on this outer piece here. You can put glue along the edge of the crease line in the center, but don't put too much, because the more you put there, the more it spreads out, and you don't want to lose too much of your pocket space real estate. So just a thin bead of glue along that spine line, that crease line, and then around the edges. Down the side, and then you can just add it in these other areas here. I'm just going to put the pin in my glue. And I'm going to place this down, and when I place it down, I'm just going to hold the center page up like this and bring the edge up to the center fold, and then I'm just going to fold that over and flatten down gently, because that will make sure that we are leaving just enough space between the very, very center and where the paper comes up to, so that this folds over neatly. I'm just going to run over that quickly with the bone folder, and I'm going to cut the excess off here. Any of these wider pieces that we're cutting off like this, you can hang on to those because they are big enough to do something with in the future. Remember to try and not cut into the envelope on the sides, as we don't want to put a hole like cut into the envelope at the top and the bottom so that we don't lose our pocket. So we can hang on to this. Now we can cover the next page, and we can do a line close to the spine but not on the spine. And across the top, down the side, and across the bottom, and then we can do it all over these areas. Put the pin back in the glue. We're going to cover this up in the same way we did the other side. Like that. Run over that with the bone folder, and then we can cut the excess off. Hang on to this piece for the next one. We can cut the excess off the sides, remembering to be careful not to cut into your envelope. So we have covered the front and one side of the middle, and we can cover the other side of the middle in the same way we did before. And again, this is a solid piece, so we can glue all over this area. So we can put some glue down the side, right beside where the center fold is, but don't do it right on top of the center fold. Across the top, down the side, and across the bottom. And then we can do a big swirl in the center, put the pin in the glue, and place this in like that. Run over that quickly with the bone folder, and we can take off any excess. There isn't any on that side. So now we have the front done, the middle, we just need to cover this back page. And again, we're going to do the same thing. We can put a line along the fold side, but not right on top of the fold, across the top, across the bottom, down the side, and a little bit in all of these spaces. Put the pin back in the glue, we're going to hold up the center page. We're going to line up our paper. Fold this over to make sure that it's going to fold comfortably. Run over that with the bone folder. And then we can cut the excess off. And we'll keep this piece for the back. So now we'll cut these side pieces. Being careful not to cut into your envelope. Okay. So now we just have this last side to cover, and this is solid, so we can glue all over this space. So we can go across the top, down the spine side, across the bottom, down the other side, a big swirl in the centre, put the pin back in the glue. And we're going to try and line this up on the spine side. And I'm just going to run over that with the bone folder again. Didn't have that as straight as I hoped, but it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to cut the excess off here. So we have all of our pages covered. So the next thing we do, just check that all of our pockets are opening, and yes they are, so that's good. So the next thing we do is we just decide whether we want to put ephemera pieces in here or just tabs on the side, or what you'd like to do. You can add extra pockets here if you want to grab some of your pieces that you've cut off. You could maybe put some little pockets there, or you can put another little side pocket in on the sides like this. You could put little triangles in the corners and put an image on there, a photo or something like that. So that is basically it. Now, if you don't like this white space, you can just put a bit of washi tape or decorative paper over that and hide it away. So that's the basis of it. To make these little cards, all I've done, these little journaling cards, all I've done is take a piece of scrapbook paper. I've cut them to size to fit within the size of the envelope comfortably. So you need to make it just a little bit shorter. And then I've chosen to round the corners because it looks nice and it just helps go in here a little bit so that it doesn't get snagged in the corners and buckle it up. And I will show you now how to do these tabs. So to do the tabs, I'm just using scrap card, a scrap piece of scrapbook paper. Now you can just fold a piece in half. Actually, to make it a bit easier for you, you can take a piece like this and you can cut off a piece that is all, you can make it about 2 inches, or you can make it less than 2 inches. I think mine have been about 1 inch and 3/4, so I'll just cut that down to 1 3/4 inches, and then you can turn it around and cut it at 1 3/4 inches, or you can make them bigger and make them 2 inches if you like. And then all you do is fold it in half, trying to get these 3 sides as evenly matched as you can, and just fold that down. Now you can just go ahead and round these corners. So I'm going to use my 3-way corner rounder to do this, and I'm just going to choose the medium size here. And you want to punch on the side, on the top, on each side where the fold is. Don't punch where it's open, punch on the fold side here. So I'm just going to slide the corner into the slot, into this space here, and when it's gone in as far as it can go and it looks like you've got the corner into this, the top of this little triangle underneath, then you can punch. And you can do the same on the other side, like that. You need to make sure you're doing this on the fold line edge, like that. When it's open, it should look like this. Okay, so that's your tab, and then once you have your piece, your journaling card, you can just glue this down like this. So you open, put a bit of glue in here, and you glue one side to one side of your page and the other side down to the other side of your page. Now to get the whale tail shape, what you do is you need one of these. This is a whale tail paper punch. It is a tab shape, and you use a folded page for this. So I'm just going to take a scrap here, and I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm just going to crease down that edge. I'm going to open my punch, and then I'm going to slide this into the punch, making sure that the folded edge goes in first. So I slide it into this slot here, making sure that the fold line is going in, and slide it in until it doesn't go any further, and this whole space in here is completely filled, and then punch. And that is your tab, and that is your waste piece. You can cut the excess of this off, and you can use these pieces for something else. So there's your little tab, your whale tail tab, and all you would do is put glue on the inside here, and then you would hold it like this without completely shutting it, just hold it like this, and then glue it down to either side of your paper so that it looks like this. See? And you can put them wherever along there that you like. So that's 2 ways of having 2 different types of tabs. So that is the project. Our little pocket book with 3 pockets, 1, 2, and 3. And they're a really easy little idea for a beginner. and you can use them for so many things. So I hope you like this little booklet idea. I hope you give it a go. If you do, please let me know. If you are interested in sharing your work with me, there will be a link in the description box below for my social media, which is a Facebook share group where you can show me what you have been making yourself. And for those of you who might be wondering, I have actually closed down my Ko-fi website because I'm not interested in using that anymore. I was having trouble with it, so I've stopped using that. But you can still contact me here through through YouTube, and you can contact me through Facebook as well. So if you can also contact me through email, and my email will be in the description box below. Links to the tools and things that I've used today will also be linked in the description box below if you are interested. So you can check those out. So if you liked this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that YouTube can send you a notification the next time I upload another video. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe out there, and I will see you next time. Bye.